I'm down at one of my favorite spots now by the Croton landing. It's on the Hudson River. I live here, just up on the banks of the river up above. And this is how I can manage to be as close as I am to New York City and really survive and enjoy myself, have a life as an artist, and get away from all of that incredible levels of sound that are there all the time. You know, we modern urban people, we live in such an incredible soundscape. We don't really think about it all that much, but the detritus of all of the industrial age, the transportation, the manufacturing, the disk drives, the cell phones, the compression, the iPhones, the earbuds, the air conditioners, they all take up the space that we used to have to think, to communicate. And in the meantime, we haven't really evolved all that much. You know, our brain plasticity makes up little filters to try and let us deal with all these things, but in fact, we're still hunter-gatherers, so we're trapped in a world that we like to think of as the information age, and really it's the age of noise. It's the Baroque era of fossil fuels, where any kind of fossil fuel toy is allowed to eat up our thinking space, our hearing space, just so long as it turns a profit. My work, I like to think about those things. I like to expose them. I like to interfere with them and bring them to the surface. I like to make things that are beautiful for people to listen to. And I like to make things that challenge the way we think about sound and space. I really like to take in the aspect, what does it sound like where I live? What's the kind of space? What's the kind of echoes and reflections? How much space is there for a human to live in and to talk in? Is there whispering space? What are the textures of the sound world we live in? Are they all machine? How much space is there for things that change all the time? For wind, for water, for bird, for cricket, for seasons, for things that tell us about the weather, that take us into the loop with the natural world instead of putting a drone and an industrial drone between us and the environment. And what I'd like to do with Vic in Australia is to explore that terrain, to absorb its textures and sounds and smells and feel, and the type of people who live there, all the kinds of terrain and ambience that are there, what kinds of spaces and hearing spaces do people live in, what are the signal tones, and create an environment of instruments that transfer nature and space into something that people can explore at the old schoolhouse. Create a series of instruments that are activated by wind and water and nature and insects and people, and create stories around that interact with the local community.